Welcome back to Factorio Ribbon World. My name is Nilaus, and this is the weekly recap of my Twitch series here on YouTube. The Twitch series that I'm recapping here on YouTube, so you can see what's going on. And what is actually interesting is that it is a Ribbon world, but it's starting to become a Ribbon Megabase world. You can see here this is where we left off at the last time. We were sort of getting into the Megabase territory, generally considered to be 1,000 signs per minute. So we just have to get beyond this number, and then we'll be done. That's my goal for the series. Yet there is a caveat here. Why is this number 1198? That is number comes from the number of hype trains and all that. We have a way of calculating it, basically so that the more support there will be, the bigger, the higher the challenge of the base will be, and that's what we're seeing here. So if there's more, if I can keep scaling up the base faster, then there will be more support, then I will win, or otherwise this series continues a bit longer. But this will be the stretch to reach that target, and as this target also increases, we'll see if we can make it. This is where we left off last time, and we have just produced one more nuclear power plant. We have a bit of room to expand to, so that's probably a good place to get some more expansion going here. So this is the situation, as just as I mentioned, this number increased and my base has sort of fallen down, so we are now further from the target than before. Here's a very interesting thing, well, not a surprise to anyone. If we are going to transport 1100, or in this case 1200 signs per minute for every signs, this is going to be a lot of robots that are going to be busy doing that, and a lot of charging ports. So that's something we definitely want to get started on. One of the other things was that we only had one rocket launch facility, and if you have one rocket launch facility, you can never get higher than 981 signs per minute, no matter how many modules and beacons you throw at it. So you need to have two of these in order to get a bit higher. So we've built another one of these also, since run. That was not me saying it, that's the mod actually saying that. And just look at the awfulness, it's taking out our entire location here. Oh, look at that. That is, the mod is automatically having sound bites of me panicking incorporated. So yeah, that's what happened. But the good news, all of these bombs, they came from a hype train, and that hype train has given us a new copper patch. So we have more copper patches here, because copper was the one that we were missing the most. We've also been bombed at this place as well. And so it means that we now have a new copper patch, and we can then start expanding on our copper. When we get out here, we also have new terrain. We can actually get to our next iron location. That's probably the main important thing for us to do now. Claiming new area takes a bit of time. You can see we have now claimed 3 new city blocks. One will be for nuclear power. That's why I've left some water here, so we can stamp down a nuclear power plant. Next one will be maybe some copper to use the new copper location, or maybe some green circuits, I think it's going to be. And then of course we're going to tap this as well. So let's get that, and then we can see what's going to be like. You can see here it's up to 1280, so that's going to be difficult. When we get beyond 1350, then I will not be able to produce enough signs to keep up. So I have to reach my science target. This is summarizing over a 10-minute period. I have to reach that science before this one grows beyond 1350. So that is our target. Otherwise, it's going to be a very temporary win in the space. And by the power of friendship, or more likely blueprints and robots, this is incredibly easy to build. We have the templates. So what I've done is, new nuclear power plant is here, good to go. And because the nuclear power plant does not have any inputs and outputs, then we have room to get a double iron inbound, a double green outbound, a double copper inbound, and that means we have now increased to 3 of these modules of green circuits, and we now should be producing about up to 1000 green circuits per second. Yep, that is per second, and that should get us keep us going. We've also put a green that's not green. That's a steel production facility down here. This steel production facility is specifically designed so that it gets 6 lanes out. If you notice this specific design, it is in my efficient loading masterclass. What you're seeing here is purely magical. What you see here is that you can see they are inputting on a belt, and because they are exactly synchronized swinging back and forth, they will leave completely full belts No gaps anywhere, anytime, as long as there's enough in the boxes. Boxes don't unload completely even, but it's very close. That means I take the 6 lanes, full lanes out, spread them into 8 lanes here. And if I look at the capacity for this one and compare it in terms of transport belts, then I'm consuming a tiny bit more than 6 full belts, which is exactly what we put in. So I've designed my I don't know why it's called green, but my steel production facility to be exactly taking 6 full iron belts. And well, we don't have enough iron, but that's going to be another headache for us to solve. Maybe that's a train thing. We also will spend more time on going through trains as we get the bigger base. That's also what you're seeing in my mega base in the book, that managing the train system is going to be a bigger part as the base grows. You can see our science is slowly crawling up, and it's getting closer to where we want it to be. So let's push forward and see if we can get more in here. Now this is still working diligently as always, just getting more and more steel here. And well, what we are looking at is, I'm looking at things that run out. And what is running out is definitely the low density structures, because we only have currently 1 low density structure built, like really far back here. And I need another low density structure built. And it's ironically that it has to go up here and all the way over to this location to be put in. I'll kind of have to manage that, but that's okay. The point is that this will go into 2 locations. It'll go into our low density structure is being consumed here. You can see there's no trains coming in, and it's also consumed for the yellow science in here. So 1 build of low density structure is not enough. And what happens immediately as you build more low density structures, you will notice that you don't have enough. You don't have enough copper, because this will require 8 lanes of copper coming in, and that's a bit much compared to what we have. This one is working, trying desperately to try to keep up, but it's going to be difficult. What I should also look at is should be a new iron patch spawned here. A new iron patch is very nice, but under a copper smelter is not so nice. So this is something we'll keep in mind. We will be able to take it, but we'll need to shuffle some things around. Hopefully. Yeah, we'll see when that will be available. But it's good to have it, and that's super nice. So with more low density structures done, well, let's try to get up here. We don't quite have the next one available, so that kind of, this is the part, right? I need to scale up my base. In order to scale up my base, I need more location. In order to get more location, I need more subscriptions and all that stuff. But that will also increase the condition, or how much I actually need to produce. So all in all, it's going to be really difficult for me to outscale the pace, because I am still very much space constrained. It's very a delicate balance of using space as efficiently as possible and not just build massive amounts of bases. Sometimes I want to build a great and beautiful base, and like this one. Look at this, belts coming in. But sometimes the chat, they just want to see the world burn, and then massive disasters happen in my base, and like here comes the boom. Exactly, here comes the boom. And that's what happens. My beautiful base is going to be absolutely destroyed, this time dropping 2 bombs, because and it's also taking out an extra rail car here. I'll build that one again. It's all good. And we're being attacked by biters pretty much everywhere, as you can see.
There seems to be a little problem.
So,
there seems to be a little problem with one of your locomotives.
Yeah, as you can see, sometimes I want to build a beautiful base, and sometimes I'm just not allowed to. And then if I just don't respond quick enough, 300 things are being destroyed here. These bases, they're munching on my home base. These are just hiding in a corner, but soon they'll be rolling all over and probably taking out a nuclear power plant. Yeah, and at the same time, there are just trees spawned everywhere. So sometimes, this is the part about this live stream, is that sometimes it's going to be super critical with me just running around putting out fires, and then there'll be hours of quiet construction of building awesome bases. Luckily, this is a problem we just solved, like with nukes dropping and biters spawning in base. It is pretty damn intense. But that being said, we have built the belts coming into the science facility, and that's a massive step forward. It's simplifying. Let's clear out the biters and continue working on the base. Ah, look at the peace and quietness we have in the base. These things are chugging along. Everything is working perfectly, flawlessly, awesomely. Our signs per minute is gradually ticking up. 1,340, 1,341, 1,342. We have completed the mission. Mission complete. We have actually completed it. I managed to get the science to a higher degree than what what the hype train counter said. So that means I have sort of won the challenge here. At this point, I have managed to build the base faster than both the chat could destroy it and also increase the scale of my of the base here. So this is, we'll run across those tracks quickly. I have also died 12 times to trains here. But you can say, now that we have the mission completed, well, I am not going to wrap up this series just yet, because I'm going to let this continue until Satisfactory comes in, and then I'll be on Twitch switching over to playing Satisfactory Update 6 when that comes in. Should be about a week or so from now, maybe 2, depending on the progress for Coffee Studio. But then we'll be switching over to Satisfactory. But I think this is amazing. I made it. I got it here despite all the mayhem that you saw earlier. But I do have one more project that I'm going to start up, because of course we're going to keep scaling up and keep building and starting up on new projects as well. I managed to complete the objective just in the last second, because at this point now the target has grown to 1,422, which is more than we can produce per second or per minute for all of our sciences. So at this point, it is no longer possible for me to do this without me doubling up the science for all of the sciences, and that's a bit out of reach. We've gotten a few more patches here, and we've also started on what I said, the new objective. What I've done is I've added some more coal liquefaction. I've added some more copper. Those are things that we definitely need to have, because the copper was needed for keeping the low density structure flowing, which is one of the bottlenecks, and of course the coal liquefaction is needed for keeping the oil flowing. Now, I'm just going to need to have the coal flowing, and there is a coal out here, so that we might get that. It's a bit questionable, but we could get it. This is, though, the new thing that I want to do. I want to make a robot hub. It's not quite done yet. The idea is that we'll get 3 things in. Lubricant, 4 things in on top. Lubricant, steel, copper, and iron. Iron is the closest. Iron goes in here, gets into some of the intermediates, gets into the hub, and just builds all the things we want. Down here we have green circuits, red circuits, stone bricks, and stone coming in. I also need green. I need a tiny bit of iron ore and a tiny bit of low density structures, but that will just be coming in by robot, because that's such low quantity we need it. So this will be basically a replacement hub instead of what we have back all the way in the beginning and all the way here. That means we can potentially take this out eventually if we get it, and we can harvest this coal in a more efficient manner. But that's one of my next big projects. You can see the base is working quite well at over 1,000 signs per minute, but yet still not able to get up to that target at this point. We'll see what we can do. I think that the next update for this one will be a base tour of the entire base, so that you can sort of see what is the end product of this one. As it stands right now, I'm pretty proud of being able to have a base on a ribbon world like this. It's a really structured thing. We're using our templated builds, which is just amazing that we can keep using those, and they are still so good. And we can get up and maintain it even with a rather compromised train network. We can maintain a very high signs per minute count. So that is going to be it for me here. You're very welcome to come join on Twitch. I'm streaming Captain of Industry and Factorio at the moment. I'll be streaming Satisfactory when that comes out, and there'll be more games coming out later on that we'll also be trying. So come on over to Twitch. It's at 8 p.m. Central European Time. It's pretty much every day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is currently Captain of Industry. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays is Factorio, which will transition into Satisfactory. And well, later on, maybe we'll get some Dyson Sphere coming back as well. So there's lots of interesting things going on. Also, of course, lots of video here on YouTube. So thank you very much, everyone, for following, for liking, subscribing, and of course, particularly thank you to the people who are supporting when I'm streaming over on Twitch. Without that, this series wouldn't be as fun as it is. And of course, also to the people supporting on Patreon. Thank you very much. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.